Hi guys, we're just going to preview the Launceston meeting on Sunday the 13th of May. Rails in the true, currently showing as a soft 7. To be honest, I was expecting all week to be in the heavy 9-10 range, but despite the terrible weather, we've had constant drizzle for about 2 days in Launceston, unlike Hobart where it was fair dinkum bucketed down. So I think the track reading's probably about right. It's about midday on Saturday at the moment whilst I'm doing this. The sun's made an appearance, but it's not exactly warm, so not great drying weather. So I'd be surprised if it gets much better. So I think we can look towards those who handle the cut in the ground. So what I might do is I might pick the ones that I've settled on as my better bets on the card and then run through selections in each race afterwards. I have to put my hand up and say I really struggled with this meeting with the weather conditions. Obviously you've also got the other unknown factor of what's happening in other parts of the state. Has that impacted track work and things like that, and how horses handled the floods and high winds and etc, etc. So we'll be treading a little warily, but have to tip a couple. So the first one is actually in the 3-year-old race over the 1400. I'm going to forgive Shot of Irish its last run. Peter didn't stretch out. Might be an out and out wet track. It just didn't appear to stretch out at all on the good track. Here it is here. Meets a lot of the same runners, so it draws out wide in the Brunton colours here. And you see it's sort of jumped sort of third out wide. It's under riding and just won't go, and finishes up sort of camped about 5 wide, no cover for the entire race. Now if we have a look here, you've got Mandela Effect back on the inside, Patina Arena. See what I'm talking about, like out wide, no cover. Nothing was out. It's one of those days where being out wide down the back straight was no advantage either. So you got Patina Arena, Banker Boy, Mandela Effect. So they're all in this race. So if we just watch it from here on, you know, like it's definitely not going to win, but it's, you know, it's making a bit of ground, and you see it just gets chopped out here about the. So it's gone past Patina Arena, going to finish a couple of lengths in front of her, and then just gets chopped out and eased out of the race. But if we just draw a line from where Patina Arena finishes, it's fair to say that Shot of Irish would have been sort of on the heels of this group. Mandela Effect did look quite dominant, but did cut the corner. And the other thing as well is that if we go back to here, you've got like Shot of Irish is behind Mandela Effect in the run, and I'd imagine the way that this race maps from barrier 9, I can see it working across either leading, camping outside the leader and being in front. So, and there's not much early speed from many in this race at all. So if you've got Patina Arena will get back, Mandela Effect from the good gate will probably settle about 5th or 6th. Let's just notice Windrider got gelded, only started about 2 weeks ago. You know, I'd probably need more than 2 weeks to recover if I had the same operation. But Copperhead Road, probably get back. Jubilance gets back. Cunning Fox gets back. Gone Girl gets back. Banker Bet gets back. Forever gets back. April Baby got back at its only Tasmanian run. So even though it's drawn wide, it does map okay. So prepared to forgive, and obviously its form on wet ground. Had 2 starts in the heavy and bolted in both times, Shot of Irish. So prepared to forgive the last run. And it's more of a speed map type of bet as well. Don't think there's too much between these horses, and they'll be giving him a start. So punting on that. And the other one I settled on is actually in probably the hardest race of the day. And it's in the form of, it's actually a stablemate of Shot of Irish in Taramaya. She had her first crack at the 2100 the other day, and not much went right at all in the run. Might just go and have a look at the replay. So Taramaya, and so she drew it. I think it was about barrier 5. Sort of, she's never flashed to begin. Actually, there she is there. So it got sort of chopped out a little bit. And you can see they're just absolutely walking here, and she's like third last in the middle, and just over racing, and you'll see her in a second. Turek Fair in the striped colours on the fence comes off the fence abruptly, and Taramaya cops the backwash of it. You can just see there. Yeah, you see, so. And the one thing I did like, you can see that they, because they'd walked, it made it a 600 metre dash home, and she's made a wide searching run. Sectionals dictated you couldn't come from where she was and win. But even it was a first crack at the 2100, and I just like the way she kept finding the line. Yeah, so the sort of large field, you'd imagine there's a bit more tempo on. You can see like she's definitely hitting the line as well as anything else. So just sort of a bit of tempo mid-race, and obviously with an unimpeded run she would have got a lot closer. So I just think at a bit of value, it's well worth a throw at the stumps. And just to support the fact of that race, was it bet race 7 or 8? Here we go here. So have a look at the mid-race sectionals that the leaders have run. Like from the mile they've gone, you know, like 12.5, 12.7, 13, 13.3, 12.5. So they've run what, it's about 64 seconds for 1,000 metres there, and that's just ridiculous. And you can see from the 600 they've dashed home in 11.3, 11.6, 12.2. So, and if we just look at the 600 in the brackets here, horses who are running first, second, third, fourth and fifth at the 600 finished first, second, third, fourth and fifth, and Taramaya's come from 10th to run 6th. So it's a bit of method in my madness. Definitely not bringing with confidence, but you're going to get right type of odds to have a crack at the stumps. So, and like it says, like if you look at the weights here, Century Duty 65.5, with the claim you actually meets most of them better at the weights for beating them, but it just controlled the race on speed last time. And you know, like Mariano was 3 deep the trip, but with the slow tempo he wasn't exactly doing it tough. So it's not actually the worst place in the world to be out wide if they're going slowly, as you can maintain momentum and not when the races turn into stop-start affairs. So, and Gigi's Lilybet was actually a very good run on face value there, and when we look at the section, it was actually a very good ride by Craig Newitt. Probably didn't look it, taking off out wide, long sustained run, but had a set back, had no chance, and got outside them before they poured the speed on. So, yeah, no, but pretty even lot, but happy to have something on Taramaya, and you'd think second crack at the 2100 can only be of assistance as well. And if we have a look at her form as well, with the cut out of the ground, you can see on good track she's had 13 starts for 2 placings. On soft and heavy she's had 11 starts for 3 wins and 4 placings. So you know, the wet track's no issue there whatsoever. So happy to be on Taramaya in race 7. So just confirming then, it's race 5 number 4 Shot of Irish, and race 7 number 5 Taramaya. As I mentioned, confidence levels aren't exactly high. Like last week I thought Liffey Bow was a matter of putting the bet on and then just waiting until the races run to collect. definitely nothing like that this week. So, but if we just go to the other races in the first, pretty even lot for the maidens over the 1200. Fontaine Harry's probably one that caught the eye last time. Like you can see, first up last time it actually ran well, and then sort of didn't do too much afterwards. But we'll just have a look at its, oops, the old some issue with the replay there, but we'll just go to the first race. And it's wearing these blue colours. So it's outside in the light blue there, running 5th on the outside and not using much vigour to hold its position. If we have a look here, in horse inside it puts a length in front of it, like Fair was asked to improve its position there, would have been on the back of this horse, and you can see it's loses the compass on the turn a bit. And then sort of, its last 200's very impressive. So, I think you could barrier 2. It's drawn. It's obviously a little bit tricky. What happens from about the 600 in these races? They tend to take off from about the 600, and you've got Lesnar, Stinker. Swinley Forest was okay. Miss Smith's obviously super consistent. Tara's Design's been okay at the trial, so got a bit of depth in the race. But I think if you had something Fontaine Harry, you could do far worse. The seconds for the maiden C1's over the 1600. Interesting runner here is, no idea how to pronounce it, Osos Amigos. First up in Tassie for Barry Campbell. Newitt's taken the ride. Victorian form reads okay. Horrorgate. Always tough, these races. Banker Boy's probably one, but I've put my hand up, so I've never heard of the jockey. Kenichiro Fuji. So, also barrier 17, but yeah, probably a tough one, but if you're forced to pick one even from the gate, I think Banker Boy will run well. The third, Tiesto, surprise winner of the Gold Sovereign at big odds, then resumed and hit the line well. Obviously, it's always looked like the further they go, the better with him. The one thing about these small races, small fields, is that obviously can be a little tricky with get back horses, as there might be a lack of tempo in it. Yes, but still the one you keep coming back to. Backing him's another thing. So Caesar's Quest was actually in that Fontaine Harry race and ran well, triple strip. And GG Mr. Paul was the leader in the race. And as we all know, leaders in small fields sometimes get away with murder. So, and yeah, no, that's about it. But as I said, if you're forced to pick one, go Tiesto. But I just don't think at the odds is probably going to be backable. The fourth over the 1400, Shaborn Star. She's an old favourite of mine, but she's in the zone at the moment. She goes up in grade, up in weight, which is a bit of an issue, but in form mares, you all know the story there. Yep, so, and you think when you look at the speed map, she's going to posse up in the first 4 or 5 as well. So if they can, she's going to be there to win the race. So happy to be with her. Race 6, obviously very good race this and very even. On weights, Blaze Forth looks very willing compared to his last win. Like, he beat Minute Repeater. Who else is in the race? Agree to step the pedal, etc. And needs them about 3 kilos better. Actually, Step the Pedal's one he doesn't meet better. Like, she gets in very well at the weights. She carried 59 last time, drops to 55.5, and a lot of the others go up in weights. And the other form lines are Tackler, Beaufort Lad. So I think the winner comes out of Blaze Force, the Tackler, Step the Pedal, Stella Etoile, Also, obviously, with the drop in weights might help. But like Blaze Force's been good to me. I just, with the wet ground, not knowing how the track will play, step the pedal each way. I think like it's a tackler, barrier 10. He's going to be giving all of them a start. So, and back to 1400. Whether he can do that or not is another thing, but he's in the zone at the moment. But I just think a bit of value, step the pedal each way. And the other race is the last. Daraza, obviously she's got the record of a good horse, and she's a good horse. She's carrying a lot of weight for a 3-year-old filly against some handy older sprinting types. The trial was very good. Have to have her on top. Where are we? Last race. So one, if you have a look here, Apriano is actually very good resuming. Probably leads. Happy Halloween. Can take a few strides to get going. So barrier 11 is not too bad there. Daraza will camp on them. Still Moon's trialled okay. There's one here though that in Lord Farquhar did trial very well in Devonport a while ago. Also ran well first up last time. Actually, here's the trial here. I just actually watched it.
Light is now switched on, and away they go. Beginning well out wide on the course was Thanos, who's showing speed. Green Mount Lass also going with him. Green Mount Lass the outside. Their matching motors 3 lengths clear. Lord Farquhar in third spot in that second division with Katana and Zatak are about to peel 3 horses wide down below the 250 metre mark. And in the centre of the line, Green Mount Lass is raced up to join the leader there, Thanos. To the outside, Katana and Zatak down the extreme outside. A tightly bunched field inside the 100. Green Mount Lass hanging on, trying hard on the inside was Thanos, but didn't quite get there. Green Mount Lass has won a photo.
So in the last, we'll go something each way, Lord Farquhar. And I just think these tips, like, cheapest. No, he does them, but Shining Star is a special. That's keen. Actually, I'll just, what have they got? I just want to make sure they're not mistakes. So, there's a tackler. Haven't got Blaze Forth trying to place, but yeah, I'm not sure if they're correct or not, but it just seems strange that it hasn't got Daraza top 4 and yeah, but all good. So just confirming then, run through them. Race 1, number 1, Fontaine Harry. Race 2, number 1, Banker Boy. Race 3, number 1, Tiesto. Race 4, number 3, Shaborn Star. Race 5, number 4, Shot of Irish. Race 6, number 10, Step the Pedal. Race 7, number 5, Tara Maya. And race 8, number 4, Lord Farquhar. And the 2 best repeating, race 5, number 4, Shot of Irish, and race 7, number 5, Tara Maya. So I mentioned we'll just use those 2 as the ones to back, as they're not bring with confidence, but have to sort of put a couple out there. So they'll do me for this week. So we'll wrap it up there, guys. So until next time, we'll catch you then. Cheers.